It's your boy Jamar back with another video. Back with another banger. And today I'll be reviewing Michael, the biopic of Michael Jackson, starring his nephew, Jermaine Jackson's son, Jafar Jackson as Michael Jackson. And also Coleman Domingo was in it as Joseph Jackson, Nia Long as Catherine Jackson, etc., etc. Giuliano, I forgot his last name, but he played young Michael. He did a terrific job as well. But let's just get into it because I want y'all to hear my full unbiased opinion of the Michael biopic. Um, I will give it a 7 out of 10. It wasn't bad at all. It was actually really good, but it wasn't awesome. I do feel like my only critiques. Well, let's start with the good. Let's start with the good, and we'll get to the not so good. The good is the acting. Javar Jackson absolutely killed his role. Javar Jackson demolished his role. He deserves an Oscar. Coleman Domingo demolished his role as Joseph. I honestly couldn't. I thought I was watching the real Michael Jackson. Like that's how good Javar did. They did perfect with the casting. I'm not even mad at that at all. The storytelling wasn't bad at all. I just feel like my only problems with the film, they could have gone a little bit more in depth because the pace was kind of fast, so it kind of was skipping through a lot of things. In my personal opinion, because I know Diana Ross was supposed to be in this because Kat Graham was actually casted as Diana Ross, but she got cut off last minute because apparently there was legal issues and they had to cut her scenes from the film. Janet Jackson refused to be in it at all. Janet Jackson was not mentioned at all, which I wasn't really upset about because, I mean, if Michael's early life, it didn't really include Janet at all. You know, Janet had her own thing going on. Michael had his own thing going on. So Janet not being in the film wasn't really that big of a loss, honestly. It really wasn't. And also, what I see a lot of people talking about is the allegations not being mentioned in the film. Do they not realize that the allegations wasn't a thing till 1993, and this part of the movie only covered all the way up to 1998, the bad era? So the thing is, there would not be any allegations to address, and honestly, I don't even know if they're going to address them in part two, which they might not. And that's, I mean, you guys have a right to be upset about that because I ain't gonna lie. I did hear on the article that the original film was supposed to end in 1993 when he heard about the allegations, but apparently, according to some legal reasons, they couldn't include that, so they had to go back and reshoot it, and the film actually ended in 1998 during the bad tour. Um, I don't really care about the allegations because me personally, I don't think they're true. You guys can argue about that. That's up to you. But me personally, I don't believe they're true. So I don't care that they don't include them. But I do feel like it should be included a little bit too because he did have to go through that. But like I said, in part one, it was going to be included anyways because there's no allegations to include up until part two. Part two is debatable whether they should include it or not. I do feel like part two will be a lot better than part one. Not saying part one was bad. Part one was really good, but I feel like part one was more like the highlight in the beginning of his career. And this is more like him trying to break away from Joe and the Jackson 5. But I feel like once we get to part two, we're actually going to get into some serious stuff like his marriage to Lisa Marie Presley, the kids, the I was gonna say the allegations, but that's up in the air whether that's gonna be included into it. The dangerous tour, him becoming visibly white, like it's gonna be a lot to cover in this second half of the film, part two. So I'm really excited about that. But part one, basically it started off when they were their childhood up until them being signed as the Jackson 5, being signed to Motown. Then that's what I'm saying, we get that story, then we jump to him in 1978 as as him about to put out Off the Wall, his first solo album. And basically after that, we get to Thriller. And basically, the more Michael becomes successful, the more Joe keeps thinking, oh, this is good for the group, this is good for the group. And Michael's basically like, I want to break away from the group. I don't want to be in the group. Neil Long did a terrific job as Captain Jackson. She didn't have that many scenes, but when she was there, baby, it spoke volumes. Bubbles was in the film. I feel like if you're a big Michael Jackson fan, you will love this. You will love this. You will love this. But just know this one is. But I just want y'all to come in with the expectations that you're not going to get the full Michael Jackson story in this one. This is just part one of his story. This is up until a certain point. So if you're okay with that, you should go ahead and see this movie. Like I said, I'll give it a 7 out of 10 because it wasn't like amazing, like the best ever. But it wasn't terrible either. It wasn't bad. It was a pretty good film, and I will recommend it. I do feel like part two will be a lot better though, because I feel like this is more to tackle in part two. And that's what I really can't wait for. So yeah, go out and support Michael, y'all. It was a really good film in my opinion. I give it a 7 out of 10. No, I'll change that, 7.5 out of 10, because the acting was really good. Like, I'm not gonna lie, they deserve Oscars. Like, Javar Jackson really did that. Like, he channeled Michael Jackson. Like, Javar is really talented. I want him to have more roles after this. Like, yeah, it deserves an Oscar run and all that. Like, we need to really like show up and show off for this movie. And yeah, let's show everyone why Michael Jackson's the greatest of all time and why he's the king of pop. So that's my opinion of this movie. And make sure you guys like, follow, and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys next time for my next movie review.